Tonight, we dive into a high-stakes conflict with global consequences. In the South China Sea, ancient claims collide with modern ambitions. At risk, $2.5 trillion in annual global trade, a lifeline for the world economy. Any disruption here could spike prices and disrupt supply chains worldwide. The main players, China and the Philippines, locked in a tense standoff over disputed islands and fishing grounds. The Philippines, a nation of over 7,000 islands, faces a powerful neighbor. The U.S. has responded with a $2.5 billion military aid package for the Philippines, a major policy shift and a clear signal of support. This isn't just about warships, it's about the balance of power in the 21st century. The aid package is a message. America is committed to upholding international law and supporting its allies. This directly challenges China's sweeping claims in the region. The world is watching as this strategic chess match unfolds. The outcome will shape the Indo-Pacific and global relations for decades. The South China Sea's stability affects supply chains we all depend on. The actions of the US, China, and the Philippines will impact global security and prosperity. That's why we're taking a closer look, exploring the history, the present, and what the future might hold. Let's break down what's happening and why it matters to you. To understand today's tensions, we need to look back. The US and the Philippines share a deep, complex history. Once a US territory, the Philippines gained independence in 1946. China's explosive growth has fueled a modern military and more assertive claims in the South China Sea. China's nine-dash-line claim overlaps with neighbors like the Philippines, creating major friction. The US acts as a balancing force, advocating for freedom of navigation and international law. Now, the Philippines, China, and the US are at a crossroads. The stakes are high, and their choices will echo for years. The Philippines Enhanced Resilience Act, or PERA, marks a turning point. This US military aid package authorizes up to $2.5 billion for the Philippines over 5 years. It's a steady stream of support, enabling long-term military modernization. The funds target the armed forces of the Philippines, not the Coast Guard. The focus: coastal defense, long-range missiles, advanced air and missile defense, and maritime surveillance. Cybersecurity and intelligence upgrades are also key. This bipartisan effort in Congress signals rare unity on foreign policy. PERA's inclusion in the National Defense Authorization Act highlights the alliance's strategic importance. The timing is crucial. President Marcos Jr. is pivoting back to the U.S. after years of warming to China. He's vocal about defending Philippine sovereignty in the South China Sea. This aid gives him real resources to back up his stance. It's a tangible result of renewed U.S.-Philippines cooperation. The package is more than money. It's a message of unity and resolve. It strengthens the Philippines' hand in a volatile region. The U.S. is making clear it stands with its ally. The next chapter in this alliance is just beginning. This aid package is a direct response to rising tensions in the South China Sea. The Philippines has faced repeated confrontations with Chinese vessels, water cannons, dangerous maneuvers, and swarming of disputed reefs. The Second Thomas Shoal is a flashpoint, with Filipino Marines holding out on a grounded ship, often harassed during resupply missions. These incidents highlight the daily struggle to defend Philippine territory. The U.S. has condemned China's actions and reaffirmed its defense commitments. The new aid aims to build credible minimum deterrence, enough strength to make aggression costly. It's part of a broader U.S. strategy to reinforce alliances across the Indo-Pacific. Closer security ties with Japan, Australia, and South Korea are all part of this network. By boosting the Philippines' defenses, the U.S. strengthens a key link in this chain. The message: the U.S. and its allies are united for a free, open, and stable Indo-Pacific. The stakes are high, and the world is watching. The hope: deterrence, not escalation. The challenge: keeping the peace in turbulent waters. The $2.5 billion aid package is making waves across the Pacific. In the Philippines, it boosts President Marcos Jr.'s credibility and strengthens his hand against China. It's a clear sign to Filipinos that their government is taking action to defend sovereignty. For China, this is a provocation. Beijing sees it as U.S. interference and will likely respond with protests and increased military activity. This could trigger a cycle of escalation, with each side viewing the other's moves as threats. Southeast Asian neighbors like Vietnam and Malaysia are watching closely. U.S. support for the Philippines may embolden them to defend their own claims, but economic ties with China make the situation delicate. In Washington, bipartisan support for the aid shows rare unity and signals reliability to allies. It demonstrates that, despite domestic divisions, the U.S. can act decisively on the world stage. America's credibility as a security partner is strengthened. The region is on edge, balancing between deterrence and escalation. The political impact is profound. Alliances are shifting and the stakes are rising. Every move is scrutinized, every response calculated. The world is watching how these ripples will shape the future. The Pacific has become a stage for great power rivalry, and the outcome is far from certain. The economic effects of this aid package are significant for both nations. For the Philippines, it means upgrading its military without sacrificing spending on education or infrastructure. Modernization is expensive. This aid frees up resources for development. For the U.S., the funds flow back to American defense companies, supporting jobs and ensuring interoperability. But there are risks. Rising tensions could disrupt $2.5 trillion in trade, spike insurance rates, and break supply chains. Even a limited conflict could have global economic fallout. The region faces a dilemma: security or prosperity. An arms race could divert resources from social programs. Leaders must balance defense with economic growth. The goal: a secure, prosperous, and stable region for all. The stakes are not just military, they're economic, and they affect us all. For Filipinos, the South China Sea dispute is personal. Fishermen are being pushed from traditional waters, threatening their livelihoods and communities. National pride runs high. Many support a tougher stance against China and welcome U.S. support. Social media and public demonstrations reflect a desire to defend sovereignty. But there's also caution. Some fear closer U.S. ties could drag the Philippines into a superpower conflict. Concerns about increased U.S. military presence and a longing for peace shape the national debate. Filipinos want stability, respect, and the right to fish in their own waters. The government must balance security with the well-being of its people. The future of millions hangs in the balance. The challenge: protect national interests without sacrificing peace. The hope: a future where prosperity and security go hand in hand. The stakes are real, and the world is watching. Experts see this aid package as a game-changer for the U.S.-Philippines alliance. Gregory Poling of CSIS says it enables the Philippines to build a modern, resilient military. It's not just about new equipment, it's about comprehensive defense and long-term capability. Interoperability is key. Dr. Colin Coe notes that U.S. equipment lets the two militaries operate seamlessly together. This makes the alliance a stronger deterrent. But hardware isn't everything. Richard Haydarian warns that training, maintenance, and strategy are just as important. Effective use of funds and fighting corruption are crucial for real capability. Diplomacy remains vital. Former U.S. Ambassador Christy Kenny emphasizes that military aid is meant to strengthen the Philippines' hand at the negotiating table. The goal: resolve disputes peacefully, not through force. The alliance is evolving. Military strength supports diplomacy, not replaces it. The region's stability depends on both deterrence and dialogue. Experts agree, the ultimate aim is peace, not conflict. The U.S.-Philippines partnership is being tested and strengthened. The world is watching how this alliance adapts to new challenges. The next moves will shape the region's future. Where do we go from here? The South China Sea remains one of the world's most complex challenges. The U.S. has committed major resources to support its ally, raising hopes and tensions. The path forward demands careful diplomacy and a shared commitment to peace. A stronger Philippines could mean greater stability, deterring aggression without provoking conflict. The U.S. aid package is designed to empower, not escalate. Upholding international law and keeping communication open are essential. The future shouldn't be decided by military might, but by cooperation and respect for rules. This story is still unfolding, and staying informed is crucial. The Indo-Pacific's future affects us all. Share your thoughts, stay engaged, and support a peaceful, secure world. The goal isn't to pick sides, but to build a future where all nations can coexist in peace. The choices made now will echo for generations. The world is watching. Let's hope for stability, dialogue, and hope.